The Prime Minister is expected to sign a deal with Serbia, North Macedonia and Kosovo to increase intelligence sharing and bust more gangs. But we've had more than 31,000 people cross the Channel in small boats this year, and it has raised the question whether or not that's going to be enough. Chairman of the think tank Migration Watch UK, Alp Mehmet, joins me now. Alp, what do you make of this deal with the Kosovans and co?
Well, like everything else that we've heard so far since the 4th of July, it stands absolutely no chance of making any difference at all. In fact, Patrick, I swear that Sir Keir Starmer stands more chance of walking across the Channel in bare feet than anything that they've announced so far stands a chance of stopping the boats. They'll just keep coming. Right. They don't seem to understand what drives this. And this deal that we're supposed to be signing, this agreement that we're supposed to be signing with North Macedonia, Serbia and Kosovo, we're probably doing that already, frankly. And what are we going to do? I gather that we're going to exchange intelligence. Then what? We're going to map where they're coming in from. We know all that.
Right, well, this is it. I suppose that Keir Starmer would say, well, they've identified that this is maybe where the nerve centres of a lot of these human trafficking gangs are, and that if they can crush them there, then that will mean that there's no way that the people are going to be able to make it to the Channel.
That's a nonsense, frankly, because at the moment, the people are streaming in through the Balkan route, about 100,000. They're going to stop that? I doubt it very much. Not only won't they stop it, but once they enter the European Union, which is their ultimate aim, then what? There's no one going to do anything to stop them from making their way to Calais or wherever, the northern shores of France. They're going to simply keep coming. You know why? Because if they get here, once they get on the water, they're here to stay.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is that not the fatal flaw in this, which is that, look, people can say, well, we're gonna go after drug dealers. Well, OK, but as long as there's a market for people to use drugs and everything, then it carries on, doesn't it? And, it's a bit like going after the human trafficking gangs. Well, OK, well, there are millions of people who still want to be trafficked, as it were, don't they, to Britain. And when they get here, there's no deterrent. There's no deterrent at all. And the only deterrent that might have worked and I think would have had an effect was the Rwanda arrangement. And the first thing they did was ditch that. To me, this suggests that they have absolutely no idea about immigration, how it works, what drives young people in particular, young men, to make their way to Britain. If you've been around the villages in Nigeria, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in the Balkans, in Romania, as I have, and you've seen the sort of young people, what they want. They want a better life. They want an education. It had nothing to do with them escaping tyranny or escaping... they're escaping a poor, difficult life. Migration, isn't it? Really, in a sense, a lot of it.
It's illegal migration, whatever we may call it now. Irregular, it isn't. It's illegal migration, and making their way over in dinghies, in boats, embarking from unregistered, dangerous places. Frankly, that's illegal.
Yeah, and the studies come out again today that show that like an unbelievable percentage of them do not have passports when they get here. But that clip that we played a little bit earlier on of Keir Starmer arriving in Budapest, now, some people have poured cold water over that. They've said, well, look, Viktor Orban was there greeting everybody, somebody else arrived just a couple of seconds or minutes in front of Starmer, I should say, and that's what that was. But I don't necessarily buy that out, because there's no way that Viktor Orban would not have been there to meet Trump. There's no way that he wouldn't have been there to meet some other political leaders. Does Keir Starmer have any capital on the world stage, do you think?
Well, it could have been a cock-up, I suppose. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Someone should have
by
messed
no means
up.
The worst thing that's happened tonight. So, yeah.
Someone could have messed up. It could have been by accident that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But there's no way that would have happened with President Trump. That's absolutely certain. And there's no way that would have happened, say, even with Tony Blair or, well, it sort of happened with Boris Johnson on one occasion because the EU wanted to make a point. President Macron wanted to make a point. But that was a different time. Now, I mean, here's someone who wants to get friendly with the EU again. He wants to revive the Dublin Agreement, for goodness sake, which was next to useless anyway. And why he wants to do that, I don't know. What happened today, it was embarrassing for sure. And I'm whether the Prime Minister feels embarrassed, I don't know, but I feel embarrassed for him, frankly.
Well, there you go. You're probably not alone in that regard. Alp, thank you very much. Always an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. You take care. It's Alp Mehmet there, who is the chairman of the think tank Migration Watch UK.